Sahara Reporters, Everything Africa, you are welcome again to the Live Saturday show. A slight deviation from our major coverage of the Nigerian election, we're going to neighboring Ghana, which just celebrated its 58th independence yesterday. Now, 58 years ago, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, addressing a newly liberated country, imbibed a lot of optimism in the newly liberated country. He said that black man is capable of managing his own affairs. 58 years down the line, is this optimism still shared by Ghanaians? We are going to find out with two representatives from the two topmost parties in Ghana. I'm talking the ruling National Democratic Congress and the opposition New Patriotic Party. From the New Patriotic Party, and in the studio with me today, we have Kwaku Kyei Ofori. Kwaku Kyei Ofori is the communications director for the New Patriotic Party USA. That's NPP USA. He's the communications director for NPP USA. You're welcome, Kwaku.
Thank you very much.
And on the line, we have Jilbrila Mumuni. Jilbrila is the public relations officer for the Zongo Caucus for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, North America. You're welcome, Jilbrila.
Thank you very much, Gussie.
Okay, so let's start straight away. Ghana is 58 years old. Hooray! What is there to celebrate, Mumuni? Jilbrila?
There's a lot to celebrate. If I listened to the president correctly yesterday when he was issuing the statement at the march, he said he was listening to deliberations between two people. There was a male and a female, and the male said that he felt there was nothing to celebrate after 58 years because we haven't achieved a lot. And the lady actually on the platform said she felt we have made some successes, so we should celebrate that. We should celebrate the successes we have made. I think the president time and again has said that as a people or as an individual, you need to count your blessings and you need to count them one by one. And I think we have come so far as a people, from colonialism to independence to successive coups d'etats to multi-party democracy, and we have one of the most stable democracy in the African continent. This we have to celebrate.
Okay. All right. Kwaku, what are we celebrating?
Just like my brother rightfully said, Ghana is 58 years old at this point in time, and we are happy that we have another blessing of another year. I mean, whatever your situation is, if you do have another year in addition to your life, you should be excited about that. For that, we are happy about. But the conditions in which we find ourselves is kind of challenging now, and at the age of 58, we are hoping to be a little bit ahead of ourselves than we are today. Like my brother rightfully said, some people really disagree in regards to us celebrating the Independence Day at all. On the other hand, some people are very excited because they are benefiting from what is happening in the country at this point in time. Like my brother rightfully said, if you look at the history of where we are today, from Nkrumah's time, where the UGCC was formed to today, we have progressed in regards to democracy, but there's still a lot of challenges that we are facing today in the 21st century, which we believe confidently that we could do things differently, and Ghana could be in a much better place than it is today.
Okay, Jilbrila, let me come back to you.
Okay.
I've been holding this question to ask you when you mentioned the president talking about counting your blessings and counting them one by one.
Yes.
Was this your campaign mantra, though? Did Ghanaians agree for you to lead the country at such a pace that we will be counting our blessings one by one? Or did the Better Ghana agenda that you espoused promise more to Ghanaians?
We promise more to Ghanaians, and we are on the verge of achieving the Better Ghana agenda we promised to Ghanaians. But if you don't see the blessings and count them as they come in, then you would say there's nothing going on in the country. I can confidently tell you that there's a lot going on in the country. Economically, yes, we have challenges. There's nobody that would, even in government, that would disagree with you that we don't have economic challenges. Yes, there's a problem with light with electricity in the country as of now, and we are not ignorant of the fact, or we are not saying that what is being said is being trumpeted by opposition, so it's not true. We accept the challenge, and we are on the verge of fixing it. We shall make sure Ghanaians feel the Better Ghana agenda before come 2016, before the elections come in 2016, and we shall be retained back in power.
Why is the election even an issue right now? Why is the government not focusing on making Ghanaians' lives better, period?
The election has not been an issue. The president time and again has said that if he would become a one-time president and then achieve the Better Ghana agenda, then yes, he would. He would become a one-term president and then achieve the Better Ghana agenda. But I am saying that when the president achieves the Better Ghana agenda, as we are on the verge of achieving it, Ghanaians would not make him a one-term president. They will give him another term.
Okay, all right. That subject needs to be explored a bit further, but for
No
want
problem.
of time, I will just move on to Kwaku. Kwaku, what's your reaction to what Jilbrila just said? I mean, your party, has been very vocal in condemning the president and how he's handling the country, for instance. What's your reaction?
Thanks again. I think at this point in time where the Better Ghana agenda was promised, I had the time to review the manifesto of the NDC before I came in, and I also reviewed the manifesto of the MPP. What the president promised us a few years ago, which is about 4 years ago, was that in 2011 he promised, and I have that in writing, that he was going to make sure that electricity, power outages are going to be a thing of the past. He also promised that my fellow Ghanaians that by his term of government, he's going to build 200 schools. He also promised the youth that he was going to give us jobs. He also promised businesses that businesses were going to develop. These are some of the few things he promised in his Better Ghana agenda policy. He also promised quality education. Looking at 6 years under his belt, we have failed economy. We have been downgraded. Our city has been downgraded.
Let me just butt in there. Hold your thoughts, please, because I just need to clarify that the president has 4 years. It's actually his 4th year next year.
I would respectfully disagree with that. He was vice president before he became president.
Yes,
and doing his vice presidency, he did make us clearly understand that he makes most of the decision, even though we do have President John Ivan Atta Mills.
Is that a fact?
That's what he said. So we are very clear in regards to some of the things that he has had.
Jilbrila, hold your thoughts.
So
I'll give you a chance
looking at 6 years under his belt, the NDC leadership under John Dramani Mahama government has been a total failure to the people of Ghana. If you promised us electricity in 2011 and you said it would be the thing of the past, in 2015 we are still facing the same challenges as of today, it is a failed promise. You also promised the people of Ghana that education is going to be much better than it was before. Under the MPP, we made sure that every single Ghanaian child who goes to school basically gets food in their mouth. Because, Kwesi, I have been to school, and being hungry in the classroom is a very painful thing. So we made sure that the fundamentals of education is make sure that we have the educational structures where kids are going to go to school, we have paid teachers, and we have food in the mouths of the children. That is what is going to keep them in school. As of today, we have children who are sitting under trees, and we have snakes falling on them while they're in class. Kwesi, I will not allow my child to do that. I do not want to see your children to do that. And we do not want that. We do not see this as a better Ghana. We are talking about businesses here. We have investors who are packing their bags and baggages and they are leaving our country as of today because we cannot even sustain electricity for more than 6 hours. That is a failure on behalf of the president. And for any president who's only thinking about elections and not the future of the people of Ghana, is failing the people. Because if you look at the NDC, every conversation just jumps right into elections. All they care about is how to win an election. John Dramani Mahama under the NDC government has failed us because they do not have a better vision for the people of Ghana. And henceforth, his leadership is not what we expect. His leadership is not what we want after 2016 because his leadership has failed us. Ghanaians have a better option. The better option is to make sure that we do not get bought by cheap money. We do not get bought by rice and oil and t-shirts. But on the other hand, we make a decision that will change the course of history forever. And that is voting Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo into the office of presidency, because the party MPP has led Ghana into so many prosperous and successful ventures. And we are confident to tell the people today that if you do give us the mandate again, MPP under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is going to deliver for the people of Ghana, and our hardships is going to end.
All right, let's get a reaction from Jilbrila. Jilbrila, you had a few concerns with what your colleague was saying. Can you articulate this?
What is the job of a vice president? The job of the vice president is sit down until the president tells him otherwise. That is the job of a vice president.
Sit down until the president tells him otherwise?
He sits and wait until the president gives him directive. That is the job of a vice president. People become vice presidents and they know what they are signing on to. But when Mills took over the reins in office, he gave the now president, then vice president John Mahama, the opportunity. The president never at any point in time at all when he was vice president said that he was the one taking decisions for the government. He never said that. He only said that he was blessed, that he has a president who has given him an opportunity to be able to be part in the decision making of the country. But he never said he was the one taking the decisions for the country.
So what was the other concern?
The other concern is the fact that he's making a claim that people go to school under trees and then snakes fall. I want him to give me the name of the district. I want him to be able to give me the name of the district that the students are in school and the snakes are falling on them. He knows he knows quite better that the NDC, when it comes to education, we have built more schools. Enrollments are quite high than when they were in power. We have done well when it comes to education. We have put up universities across the country. When we were putting up University of Development Studies, you know what you said about that? The MPP did not want us to put the University of Development Studies up, but we did. And today is one of the hallmarks of our country. When we said we were going to build a university in the Volta region, they said it was not going to come into fruition. Today, enrollment is high and the campus is up and going.
Jilbrila, how many schools has this president built? How many schools have the NDC built under President Mahama? Because I mean, you're telling us that the issue with the snakes falling on kids, etc., does not exist. How many schools? Can you give us
under President Mahama, I can give you approximately under the policy for building up the new schools, which is going to eradicate the evening and day schools. We have built more than 75 schools as at this time. The government has been able to put up more than these are ultra-modern schools, not the schools that we used to have before. These are ultra-modern schools. And I can tell you that in this year, we are going to build another 50 or more to add up to what we have.
Okay.
And every road, and I want to make this also clear, every road that is being constructed in Ghana now, in the district, there will be a school. It is part of the package for the contractors to go ahead and do it. So by the time all these projects are done and we are moving forward as a nation,
these projects are not going to be given to, let me use the cliche, job for the boys, where people do shoddy work and then 4 years down the line we don't see any.
It's not. It's not job.
Thanks for the assurance.
For the boys.
Thanks for the assurance. Let's move on. Kwaku, you mentioned blowing money, the government blowing money on campaigns and wanting to be re-elected, etc. Let's kick back. Let's flash back a little bit. A couple years ago, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who you just mentioned as the solution to Ghana's problems, was accused of a similar thing. He had a huge budget for his campaign. We saw huge, expensive billboards across Ghana, yet he did not win. So I don't know if, campaign budgets have anything to do with actually winning the elections. But my actual question to you is, aren't you being a bit disingenuous here?
No, I'm being very fair to the people of Ghana and the NDC as well. When you talk about campaign budgets, usually we do not take money that belongs to the people to do campaigns. And first of all, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is not in power. He's not the one serving the people of Ghana now. It's the NDC that is. So Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo went on a listening tour where he spent almost half a year listening to the concerns of the people of Ghana to make sure that when he's given the opportunity to serve the people, he'll be doing the right job. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo also did not spend any, not even a dime of the people's money. He traveled around the world, solicited for funds, people poured in money, and that is what he used for his campaign. So first of all,
I'll put you on the spot a bit. We heard issues of your chairman of your party back then in a leaked tape talking about people paying kickbacks to the castle, that's the seat of the presidency, instead of to the party, for instance. These are to be swept under the carpet?
No, not at all. I mean, if there's any allegations of people paying kickbacks, somebody might have requested the kickbacks, and whoever is responsible for these actions in regards to collecting kickbacks has to be investigated and prosecuted. So these are some of the actions that we do take when we do hear these things, and we make sure that we bring them to book. But going back to the question in regards to monies being spent, I rightfully said that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did not spend the people's money. Okay, if you look at the Bloomberg reports that came in 2011, at the ending of 2011, going to the election 2012, Ghana overspent its budget 4 times. Okay, 4 times of its budget in a month of just about 6 months period. That led us into a lot of debts at that point in time. And that is the debts that we are still trying to catch up as of today. If you should look at our president traveling all over the world, begging for $1 billion to manage a country, that means we are very sad. Because at this point in time, what Ghana should have been, it should have been on the level of Malaysia, where the average kid from Ono, from Bimbla Bamboy, from Kleko, or from our hometown Abanase or Chadie should be able to compete fairly with a child in England, with a child in North Korea, or with a child in Malaysia. At this point in time, we have our children sitting on the trees. We have mothers going to give birth, and they are asked to bring buckets of water to wash themselves after they're giving birth. This is sick and this is sad. This is unacceptable under the leadership of the John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government, and that is why Ghanaians are telling you in your face, and I tell you clearly that the choice that they made, or the elections that we believe strongly was rigged in 2012, is not going to happen again in 2016.
Okay. Jilbrila, your reaction. I hear you fuming.
Come on. Let's be frank to ourselves. You can't sit down and say that we should have been on the level of Malaysia, we should have been on the level of Korea, when it was your own party, your own very party that masterminded the overthrow of the man who could have taken us to the level of Malaysia and the level of Korea in 1966. So you can't sit down there and tell me that we should have been on that level. You had 8 years to be in. After that being so much disingenuous to Ghanaians, overthrowing Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, masterminded. You were part of the masterminders of those who overthrew Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah out of power in 1966. You sit down here and tell me that you had 8 years in power. What did you do?
That was several decades ago. Today, President John Mahama has assured us that he can replace Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in leading Ghana to the promised land. He's going to lead Ghana to the promised land, but he's not leading Ghana to the promised land in 2 years. He's not leading Ghana to the promised land in 3 years. He's setting the pace. That is why he said that if he becomes a one-term president, he's fine with it. But he will set the pace. He would make sure that Ghana is on the verge of getting to where it has to get to. Ghana is on the verge of being on that level. Still on you, Jilbrila. Let me ask you, for the 58 years that Ghana has been independent, yes, your party has been in charge for your party or its affiliates, I should say, because there was a PNDC, which many believe metamorphosed into the NDC.
Yes.
So collectively, the PNDC has been in charge of Ghana for a large chunk of the 58 years. Jerry Rawlings, as a matter of fact, singularly was responsible for almost 20 years of this era. Is it fair to say that everything that's good, or at least most things that are good, can be attributed to the NDC, and a lot of the bad things should also be attributed to the NDC?
Yes, you can say that. You can say government is not perfect. Government makes mistakes. Like a human being, you are bound to make mistakes and you are bound to correct them. Government is not entirely perfect. We don't. So you can say yes, we have done some mistakes. Yes, we have corrected those mistakes. Yes, we are moving forward and we are going to achieve the better Ghana agenda. You can say that. Yes.
Okay. All right. Kwaku, let me see your reaction to this. The president in his Independence Day speech said that there are different report cards on Ghana. It depends where you are looking at the thing from. An obvious analogy to the half full, half empty, half full, half empty analogy. From the point of view of the NPP, is the glass half full or half empty? And do you agree that we have different rate cards?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's different political parties that have different opinions in regards to how things are done. I believe you did mention about some of the jobs that John Dramani Mahama and his NDC government have done in the last few years and what they have achieved. My brother did mention that they're going to build 50 schools. He had 4 years to build 200 schools. As of today, we cannot account for one. Okay, after 70 billion being spent,
you cannot act.
Let me just speak. After 70 billion being spent under the NDC government, every project that you ask them, it has become a Jack, where are you project. If you go to Accra, they tell you that it's in Kumasi.
Just take this in. Just put this in, because I'm hearing you, Jilbrila, and I'm trying to.
I would hope that he respectfully respect my time as I speak.
Yes. I'm trying to actually articulate your question to him, because I know for a fact that Eselowusu, who is the member of parliament for one of the constituencies in the capital, for instance, was with the president when he was commissioning one of these schools. Why are you saying you don't know where these schools are?
So what I'm trying to bring to your attention is that they build one shady school and make a big fuss about it. They open one polytank and they make big news about it. I have a copy here in my hand, which was from the New York Times, and it says that in 2008, Ghana was ranked by the New York Times, the Bloomberg, and the Forbes magazine as one of the economic emerging countries in the West African region. Today, Ghana has been a joke of the 21st century when it comes to the West African region under the leadership of the NDC and the John Dramani Mahama administration. The John Dramani Mahama administration did also say that they are building what they call the Hope City, where it's going to be the big ITC center where children are going to learn ITCT. We are all excited about it. My friends from grad school did a project on this and whatever. Up to today that I speak to you today, on the 7th of March 2015, okay, there's not even a groundbreaking ceremony for that. So when you ask them that, where is the hospital that you built, and you are in Kumasi, they'll tell you they built hospitals in Accra. When you get to Accra, they'll tell you the hospital, oh, it's in Bimbala, Bamboy. When you get to Bimbala, they'll tell you it's in Ono. When it's in Ono, when you get to Ono, they'll tell you, oh, it's in somewhere in the water region in Kleko. These people are just playing games with us as time goes on. We are seeing huge amounts of money being spent since any leadership under Ghana. Okay, John Dramani Mahama's government has spent more money than Nkrumah took for. But where are the projects?
Inflation plays a part.
Because he didn't manage things well.
No, but I'm saying
generally, our city has been downgraded twice.
Even on a global scale, the inflation figures in Nkrumah's time will definitely be different from the inflation figures of this time.
Exactly.
That definitely will
play a part. But if you're looking at the expenditure during the NDC government, I'm saying from Nkrumah all the way to John Ajekum Kufuor, the NDC government, under the last 6 years, under the belt and the leadership of his late John Evans Atta Mills and John Dramani Mahama, has cost Ghana more than independence to John Ajekum Kufuor's time.
Right.
So that is what I'm saying. So Ghana's ranking has dropped everywhere. And the last time I traveled to Canada, on my way back, the gentleman at the airport looked at me and was like, you from Ghana? I was like, yes. And he started busting out in laughter. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, you are the country that put $3 million in a flight to Brazil. Our respect everywhere in the business economy, in the business communities, our ability to borrow money, our ability to do anything everywhere is downgraded because of the incompetent leadership under the John Dramani Mahama government. The NDC has failed the people of Ghana, and henceforth we are asking for a change. And the people of Ghana are really going to be very excited to vote the NDC out and bring Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the leader for the future for Ghana.
Point made. Let's have a rebuttal.
Look. This $3 million thing you are sitting down talking about, governments do it all the time.
And they put it on the plane
not
to go fly to pay football players.
Let him speak, please.
They never take responsibility.
Listen to what I'm saying. Governments Governments do these things all the time. They do it covertly. The only reason why Ghanaians have got are talking about this thing is because this time it has come out and people know that there was a $3 million on the flight. Government do these things all the time, so it's not even something for me to waste my time on.
Jilbrila, I think it is though, because you're saying to us that the government actually has a list of things that they do that Ghanaians are kept in the dark about. Is that what you're saying?
Kwaku, we live in the United States of America. There are certain things that are done. When Bin Laden was going to be killed, it was after he was killed that we knew that Bin Laden was killed.
Good point.
Did you know he was killed? Government do things.
Good point, Jilbrila. Let's spend the last few minutes on.
Okay, national security. The issue of national security is absolutely different from transferring simple money to pay football players.
Let me take charge.
If the government cannot manage a bank account, then what the government?
Let me take charge. I'm probably gonna have to call a break if this continues. Let me quickly. We are rounding up anyway, so let me quickly.
Okay.
There's one thing I really need us to examine before we go. Let's look at the progress that Ghana has made in the areas of, and I want us to be really brief about this because I've already got a signal from my producers, but let's combine security, the economy, and human rights. And then from the point of the NDC, how have we fared in security, the economy, and human rights from 1957 till today?
I think we have done better. I think we are getting there as a nation. We gradually, as a nation, we will get there. If you heard the president correctly in his State of the Nation's address, he made mention of the fact that we have the United Nations quota for one person to a police is 500. Now we have one person to 700, meaning in terms of security, we are getting there, and we shall get there. But you see, in terms of human rights also, we are getting there. But I would like to take an issue on the issue of homosexuality, which sometime became an issue in Ghana, and it's a human rights issue. See, we are a country of different ethnicity, and we are a secular country. So the issue of homosexuality actually, because of our ethnic and our religious belief and our culture understanding of the marriage or relationship, makes it difficult for us to accept homosexuality, and it's a human rights challenge for us as a nation and where we are going to. As a matter of fact, personally, I don't agree to it, but it's a human rights issue, and every human rights, whether you do agree with it or not, it's a human rights issue.
Okay.
And you would have to stick with it. Yes.
Your question was basically based on the human rights, security, and
the economy.
And economy. Okay. For us to be independent and have full security, we need electricity. We need some source of energy, because any nation that is looking to strive and looking to develop needs energy to develop. That is the basic fundamentals. For our economy to rise and economy to pick up and businesses to boom and jobs and everybody to go on, industries cannot move on without power. Because we cannot power everything with solar, we cannot power everything with wind. We need strong electricity to power that. And that is the fundamentals of every nation. If you look at every developed nation, they are striving and making sure that their energy sources is the basic fundamentals to make sure that everything else that they build on is solid. So we first need energy to be able to move our nation forward. And in our economics, we need industries that is going to change our raw material into industrial. We're going to move Ghana from a raw material to industrial nation. That is why Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has promised the people of Ghana that if he's given the opportunity to serve, he's going to make sure that our raw materials is then moved into an industrial nation. What happens is that when we create more industries, we create more jobs. And when we create more jobs, we can make sure that the people can be more employed, and the youth is more employed than the highly unemployment youth that we have. When it comes to, what was the last question?
The economy?
The economy.
Well, you just spoke on the economy, right?
The economy.
Security
Security. The fundamentals still based on our currency. For us to trade internationally, we have to make sure that we can fairly trade with the US dollar, which is what we call the global travel currency. And under the NPP, we had a $1 to 1 Ghana cedi, $1 to 1 Ghana cedi rate. As
That's
of today,
not true.
the Ghana cedi is 3 Ghana cedis to $1 US. I am hoping and praying that I'll see that this happens again, which we call the rising star. Ghana should be the rising star of the 21st century again. And I'm very confident that the
see,
hard
the
work
facts
that
that
people have put
Okay,
in there
all right.
is going to make sure that this happens
Okay.
again and Ghana doesn't fail.
Okay,
So
Kwaku.
inshallah, comes 2016, Ghana is going to be a nation which is going to be a rising star again under a new leadership. Because
Until
leadership
then,
is what
we
takes
will
place.
be
Thank
keeping
you.
our fingers crossed, and then we also will be inviting you again, gentlemen, to keep talking about issues until 2016, where we, like Nigeria, have our own shot at maintaining or changing precedents. Thank you so much, Jilbrila Mumuni, PRO for the Zongo Caucus, NDC, USA, and Kwaku Kyei Ofori in the studio with me, who is the Communications Director for NPP USA. And thanks, viewers, for watching. Stay tuned, there's more coming. SaharaTV.
Thank you very much.